We're here to love in every situation. We're here to love every thought that comes in. We're here to love all of creation. We're here to bring love to the world we live in. We're here to love. I invite you to sing along. We're here to love. We're here to love. We're here to bring love to the world we live in. I was doing a show. it was actually the Connie Francis show, a long time ago in Chicago. And I don't know if you remember this guy, Pete Barbuti. He used to play trumpet on The Tonight Show. He was like the warm-up act, but he did a comedy act. So I'm sitting there in front of the piano. I'm kind of nervous. And he's doing his thing. All the musicians are laughing at the jokes because they're really hip jokes. And he turns around and he goes, "Be natural." So I hit a "Be natural." And he goes, "Oh, no, just be natural." So I want to invite all of us to be natural. Because you know why? We already have everything that we need. As we said earlier, and I think it really bears repeating, there's one presence, one power in the universe. That power is omnipresent. That means God's power, God's love, God's wisdom, God's joy is everywhere present, and that includes where and who we all are. That means we're all one, and it also means even though we're all one, we're unique expressions of this power. There's never going to be anybody like you again. There never has been anybody like you before. And it also means that each of us have unique gifts to share with this world. So all we have to do is be ourselves, be our true selves, our divine selves, and share our gifts. But you know, sometimes there are things that get in the way of that. These little people that populate our minds. One of them is I call the inner curmudgeon. You know, a curmudgeon's like a grouchy person. It's this voice we hear in our heads once in a while that's complaining and doesn't like a lot of things. Does anybody have that pop into their heads from time to time? Okay, I know I do too. This is the H3 freeway. I live on the town side of it, so when I come down here to the windward side, I usually take this freeway. And I don't know if it's because there's only 2 lanes in each direction, but I run into these people. I call them the left lane cruisers. They hang out in the left lane and they drive really slow. And there's nothing that's going to get them to go in the right lane at all. And a lot of times they're driving at the same speed as the people in the right lane, so there's no way you can get around them. So that's when my inner curmudgeon comes out. He goes, "What's wrong with this guy? Doesn't he know you're supposed to pull over when you're driving slow? What's he trying to do? I can't get around this guy. Oh, no." I do these workouts called CrossFit. This is a shot of a CrossFit competition. And once in a while, they use rowing with a rowing machine. And this is a Concept 2 rower that they use in the competitions and most of their gyms. It's a really good rower. It's real smooth action. It's got a great computer to tell you how far you've rowed. But it costs about $1,000. I had an opportunity to use those at a gym I was a member of, but my membership got switched to another gym, so now the new gym doesn't have any rowers at all. So I went on Craigslist, I bought this used cheapo rower. It kind of looks like this. And it does the job, you know, but it has its deficiencies. So I was doing a workout the other day that has 3 different rounds, and each round has 500 meters of rowing. So my inner curmudgeon's coming out again. I'm on the rowing machine. I'm pulling the handle. It sounds like somebody's sawing wood with a handsaw. You know the thing? And then, you know, 500 meters on that Concept 2 rower didn't take very long. But on this thing, the computer's reading out in fractions of miles, and it seems like it's taking forever. So my inner curmudgeon is going, "This noisy thing, it doesn't feel good at all. It's taking forever. This workout's going to be twice as long." Another voice we have is the inner critic. You know that voice that says, "What are you trying to do? You're not going to be able to do this. You did that all wrong. You might as well forget it." Does anybody have that voice in their head? Oh boy, me too. And sometimes what's really weird is people that are really accomplished in their fields, they're acclaimed, they've been doing it for years and years, I hear that they still get this kind of a voice in their heads, even when they're doing their thing. There's a well-known New Thought artist named Karen Drucker. We do her music here a lot. She also facilitates workshops. She facilitates retreats. She travels all over the world. She has like 18 CDs out. She's acclaimed. She actually won the award for positive music in 2009 when I went to the Sound Connections conference at Unity Village. I saw her there. But she even gets this voice. She wrote a book recently called Let Go of the Shore. And in the book, she has a chapter where she talks about this song that we did called Taming My Inner Critic. And the song is actually about the process when she recorded the lead vocal for that song. I'm about to record the vocal. All the music tracks have been done. The band tracks and backup vocals sound perfect, and now it's my turn. I feel my stomach getting queasy and my palms are starting to sweat as I approach the vocal booth. I put the headphones on, the engineer starts the track, and I start singing. All of a sudden, I hear this voice in my head saying, "What are you trying to do? This song is horrible. It isn't funny, it's trite and poorly written, and the worst part is you're singing off key. Mayday, mayday! Abandon this nonsense. Get out while you can." Oh, Karen. I had a really good appearance of my inner critic not too long ago. A couple of months ago, I had a convention gig in Kauai, and it was on a Saturday night, so the next day I did the music, the message, and a workshop at Unity Kauai. And I flew to the island. There were a couple little gaps of time in between rushing around to do the convention gig, and that guy started to come out. But the worst was Sunday morning when I checked out of the hotel and I was having breakfast before I headed down to the Unity. He entered my mind, and he's like this. "So you're going to do the message, the music, and the workshop, huh? You're going to tell people things that'll help them with their lives, huh? Well, bud, your life ain't so together, And besides that, you didn't spend enough time preparing for this thing. You're going to bomb, man. Why don't you just keep doing your gigs and forget about all this other stuff? Relieve yourself of the stress." Then there's the inner warrior, especially when we have active, busy lives. I'm sure everybody here has a pretty active, busy life. And when we decide we're going to give our gifts, we're going to pursue the spiritual path, give our gifts in the world even more and more, and grow, that actually piles more stuff onto our lives. So we get this voice that says, "Oh my God, this thing is due tonight. This thing is due tomorrow. I got to do this. I got to do that. I want to get this done. I want to do that one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I'm going to get in trouble." So those are our 3 categories of stuff. So how do we get past all this stuff? How do we become able to give our gifts in the world and live as our true selves, our spiritual selves? The first thing we can do is let it in. It seems kind of counterintuitive. Like we hear the curmudgeon, we hear the critic, the worrier. We just want to get rid of it. We're supposed to think positive. We're supposed to have positive thoughts. We're supposed to be loving and kind, and these voices come in. But the thing is, if we try to push it away, we try to fight it, that puts us in fight mode. That takes us even further away from the love. And another thing is, when we try to push it away and even ignore it, it tends to sneak in under our radar. And then it becomes just, instead of that voice, it becomes just a vague feeling. And sometimes it can take control of us. We go with it. But if we let it in, we're just simply aware of it. Okay, that's the curmudgeon complaining about my rowing machine. That's the worrier worried about the schedule. That's the inner critic. And actually, when we look at the inner critic, we can realize that that's just a sign that we're stepping out of our comfort zone. So it can be a wonderful thing. But once we let it in, we have to let it go. We can hold on to it. We can buy into the story. I can be driving down the H3 and I said, "Oh, there's that left lane cruiser again. What's he doing? I think he's doing this on purpose. He's trying to mess with me." We get really angry and build a whole story on it. But that doesn't work. We have to let it go right away. And once we let it go, we can let it flow. I was driving down the H3. There was the left lane cruiser again. The curmudgeon came on. I let it go. So instead of tailgating the guy, I just kind of held back for a while. All of a sudden, a space opened up in the right lane. I was able to drive around the guy. Having fun. Oh, another left lane cruiser. Hang back again. Space opened up, drive around him again. It became a kind of a fun driving game. But the coolest thing was, when I let go, I switched my focus to being on this left lane cruiser guy to opening up, and I saw the beautiful green mountains. I got through the tunnel. I saw the beautiful ocean and the sky. It was a beautiful experience. I was on my rowing machine doing the workout. My inner cruiser was my inner critic was complaining about the rowing machine. I saw, oh, there you are again. Okay, I let it go. I got into the groove. I got into the motion. I could feel the workout. And you know, those rounds I did of rowing after that, I got through the 500 meters a lot faster than when I was sitting there complaining. The worry thing, the inner worrier. Okay, there's the inner worrier again. I let it go. Now this is the interesting thing. I'm really busy and I'm trying to do all these other things, and this inner worrier comes out a lot. But I let it go, and something opened up there. I follow this thing called Getting Things Done. It's a productivity method. It's written by this man named David Allen. He's an author and a consultant, consults with a lot of big corporations. He wrote this groundbreaking book called Getting Things Done, The Art of Stress-Free Productivity. He organizes things in terms of projects. And it's a great system. And the constant question you ask is, what's the next action I can take to move this project ahead? But despite all that, there's still the other question, what's the best thing for me to do right now, today, so I get these things done? And my inner worrier chills out. David addresses this in his book. When it comes to your real-time, plow through, get it done workday, how do you decide what to do at any given point? As I've said, my simple answer is trust your heart or your spirit. Or if you're allergic to those kind of words, try these. Your gut, the seat of your pants, your intuition. That's what happened when I let go of the inner worrier. I opened up to my intuition. My intuition told me, okay, this is due tonight, this is due tomorrow. Let's start with those. I got those done. And then my intuition told me, well, it's a weekday. Most of the people in my complex are out working, so I can sing really loud. So I worked on my lead vocal for one of my tunes. I got that done. I realized I had to go pick something up at the store. I went to the store. I fired up my Getting Things Done app on my iPhone. It said what other errands I had to do, so I did that. I came home. I realized I was a little bit tired. So I ate some lunch. I stretched out on the futon, and my intuition told me, let's edit that video. So I edited this promotional video I was working on from the comfort of my futon. That day just flowed. And at the end of the day, it seemed like I hadn't gotten that much done because I was so relaxed. But when I look back on what I actually did that day, I got more done than the days when I was stressing out over the whole thing. I see some nods in agreement. I think you know where I'm coming from. So when we let go of that inner worrier and we open to this intuition, our intuition even expands. Our awareness of our intuition expands. So through the day, I find that instead of going on a steady course and just staying with that direction I'm going in, my intuition shows me different changes that are happening, and I can zig and zag, change, make a course correction, just like a GPS, the God positioning system. So I invite you all to join me. Let it in, let it go, let it flow. Let that intuition guide us all so we can express ourselves as the divine spiritual beings that we are, find our gifts and give them even more in the world. Thursday is the World Day of Prayer for all of Unity. So I'd like to do an affirmative prayer right now in this regard. If you join me, if you're comfortable to close your eyes. I know there's one presence and power in the universe, God the good, appearing as joy, love, wisdom, and this divine inner guidance, everywhere present in its totality, which means that each one of us is an expression of God. I know that we have the ability to allow all these voices, the curmudgeon, the critic, the worrier, to see them, be aware of them, let them go, and open up to this divine intuition, this divine guidance to guide our way every day. I'm so grateful to know that this is the truth, and I let it be. And so it is. Amen. I'm walking with the Spirit, and I'm talking to the Spirit. I'm learning from the Spirit, and I'm turning. Dance if you want to. I'm growing in Spirit, and it's showing. I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. You know, when I find myself in one of those situations that's leading to some kind of drama and confrontation, I go within and get plugged into my friend before it's too late. I put the Spirit right in front of me to make the crooked places straight. I'm walking with the Spirit, and I'm talking to the Spirit. I'm learning from the Spirit, and I'm turning to the Spirit. I'm growing in Spirit, and it's showing. I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. When I find myself in one of them situations, when I don't know what to do and I've got no explanation, I go within and get plugged in for a revelation. 10 times out of 9, things will work out fine without my participation. I'm walking with the Spirit, and I'm talking to the Spirit. I'm learning from the Spirit, and I'm turning to the Spirit. Well, I'm growing in Spirit, and it's showing. I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. Well, I'm walking with the Spirit, and I'm talking to the Spirit. I'm learning from the Spirit, and I'm turning to the Spirit. I'm growing in Spirit, and it's showing. I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. Well, I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. And I know you are too. Hallelujah.